I'm guessing you're like me and you receive literally hundreds of emails a day, and a lot of those emails are not crafted well and they don't grab your attention. Why is that? We're going to talk about some phrases that are probably not grabbing your attention either. And if you're a seller, this is the opportunity for us to change the way we send out our emails. Hi, welcome to the pantry. My role in the meetings and events industry is both as a planner and a supplier. So I send out emails to solicit clients and to solicit engaging responses. And then I also receive emails from suppliers who are trying to solicit a response from me. So over the years, I've seen a lot of email don'ts and things that we shouldn't be emailing out, or rather they're just not eliciting a positive response. So we're going to go through some of those email phrases that perhaps we can remove from our own emails, sending out to potential clients, and then hopefully receive more results from those emails. So the first email faux pas that I see quite often is when an email opens up with the words, "How are you?" Now it's very polite and acceptable, socially acceptable, when I'm talking to someone face to face or even over a text message. But when an email, it's essentially a one-way dialogue in that moment in time, the phrase, "How are you?" It's not going to get me energized about reading the rest of this email. Email is meant to be an information distribution system, and let's save the "how are yous" for when we connect on the phone or connect through text message if that's the way we've chosen to communicate. Another phrase that really gets my goat, and I've used this one myself, is the phrase, "Do you ever ... dot dot dot." Basically what you're communicating here is you haven't done your research and you don't know if that person has ever done something that would benefit from your product or service. So make sure you do your research. Try to avoid the words "do you ever." Hopefully go into that email knowing if that person has a need for your product or service. Another thing I feel we should remove from our email language is the word just, J-U-S-T. So I'm just following up, or I am just checking in. Take control and ownership of that email and don't just do anything. Do it with purpose, do it with passion. If you are following up, all you need to do is remove that one word and it puts you in a position of collaboration. It puts you in a position of being on the same playing field as your recipient, and hopefully will elicit a call to action from that person. Some other email strings that may not solicit a positive response are ones that focus on you or I. So for example, "I wanted to take the time to email you," or "I was hoping to connect with you." I'd love to. I'd love to do a lot of things too, but right now I need to focus on my business. And when you make the email about you and less about the person on the other end, they're going to be less likely to respond to that email. So try to remove those phrases with "I" and "I wanted to take the time," and hopefully you'll receive a larger response from the other end. This next phrase I use still quite a bit. I'm trying to remove it, but it's hard, is when we put into the end of our email, "Do not hesitate to contact me." I feel this kind of goes without saying, and I use it too, I know, but it does go without saying. So let's not say it. Let's find another phrase to put in there instead of "do not hesitate to contact me," or "don't hesitate to ask me questions." Well, of course, I'm not going to hesitate to ask questions because that's why we're having this exchange. So let's remove that email and put a stronger call to action in that place. That brings me to the thing I look for the most when receiving an email from a supplier is a call to action. If you are not giving me something to do or something to respond to, I can't and probably will not respond. Same thing goes if I send an email to a client or potential client and there is no call to action, that person does not have to get back to me. So make sure there is a call to action somewhere in that email. Make it about the recipient and make it strong enough that they know that they should respond to that call to action. Finally, addressing the method of communication. We've been talking about email don'ts here, and some of these things do not apply if your chosen method of communication with your client is text message. Now, I prefer not to communicate with my clients via text message for all of the reasons that I stated earlier. Plus, then you have a written dialogue of what has happened back and forth. So make sure that if you are texting with clients or suppliers, that it is a friendly relationship and that the responses can be brief and the call to action is still there. So again, make sure you keep your communications to email when they need to stay on email and only jump over to text message. Ooh, I have a text right now. If it requires and if you have a personal relationship with that client. So thanks for watching this video about some email do's and don'ts. Lots more sales information coming up in the weeks and months ahead. I hope you join me. Sign up for my newsletter at productivitypantry.com to stay on top of the latest sales tips. Have a great week. Bye for now.